is going on with you? Like, what are you doing right now? What's new with you?
What's new with me?
Yeah. This is Lene.
Hi. What's new with me?
Yeah.
I am just working a lot. I work at a gym. I'm a personal trainer. And surprise, I'm also a hairstylist.
Okay.
So I've been busy at work. Just got a new coach. So that's exciting.
Who are you working with
I'm
now?
working with Shugs.
Hell yeah. That's my boy.
Good people. It's been a lot of fun. New program.
Yeah.
What's y'all's plan right now? Do you have like a...
No, I basically told him that I wanted to be, you know, I was like nationally qualified, and I said the next time I step on stage, I want to be competitive. Obviously, it all depends on who shows up, but like I wanted to see a big change. And so I just said, let me know when you're ready. Or when I'm ready.
We'll go.
Yeah. Just
cool.
like, you tell me when you think it's time to go.
What's like your favorite part of your training right now? I know you said it was different, like super different.
It is, it's a lot different. So I'm used to having a lot of glutes, and he's changed my program, and I have a lot of upper body right now, and it's actually a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying it because I'm able to see, like, I've seen a lot of change in a short amount of time.
Your protein bars.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, baby. I love you.
That is a dedicated man right there. I got you, girl.
Sorry, I'm hungry. I need food.
It's nice when you get to switch up your programming, huh?
Yeah.
And it's like just something new.
It's fun, it's different. It kind of like makes it exciting a little bit again. It's not that it wasn't exciting before, but it puts a new flavor into it, and so you like get a little like spice back in your step, and I'm like, oh, this is fun.
I always love new training programs.
Yeah, every time I get a new one.
Yeah, your body just responds to everything.
I feel like to some, like, no matter what you're doing, at least within the sport of bodybuilding, you're going to be doing the same shit over and over and over. So if you can find a way to like spice that up a little bit, whether it's just like mixing up your rep ranges or like trying a new machine or a new setup, it's almost
changing
like
that tempo.
oh, this is like a whole new thing. This is amazing.
Yeah.
What about you guys? What do you got going on right now?
Oh, what do I got going on? Working like a psychopath, you know,
Always.
long ass days. Just focused on really refining my muscle tissue right now. So my off season has been a full year now. Probably aiming for April, May, June at the latest next year.
You're getting kind of early, huh?
Yeah, I want to hit earlier in the year. My goal is to qualify for the Olympia, reverse diet out, and then prep into the Olympia. So I want to hit some of the earlier shows. I want to get qualified. You know, that's kind of my focal point. But on top of that, I am really focused on also at the same time doing that, working with other women and men and just pushing, you know, my ability to change other people's lives as well, and share my knowledge and share my expertise and share my insight into this sport, into nutrition, into healthy lifestyles, and just really try and impact more people. Like, I feel like we always do so much stuff in life that's all about us, especially as competitors, you know, it's such a selfish sport. So for me, like, I'm ready to do more and impact more people and really help. You know, I focus so much on myself and my son and my life and my family that now I'm like, okay, I'm at a place in my life where I can give back to more people, and that's kind of where my energy has been going lately.
That's so bad. That's one thing I've always really admired about you. Like, you always show up to any type of seminars that you can. Yeah. You're always willing to chat with people at the gym. You're never standoffish. You're always like helpful in sharing your knowledge, and it extends, like, at least with me knowing you, me like seeing you, just how you live your life, it extends to far more than just bodybuilding.
100%.
Like, you definitely touch people's lives in other ways, and you care about kids and like giving back to the community and like how you know.
She's also approachable. Like, I remember the first time I met you, I was intimidated. I was super nervous, and you were so nice. I was like, oh, well, that was easier than I thought it was.
Yeah.
I think too often, especially like newer people in the industry, or, you know, people that are just getting comfortable in the gym, or people that are just starting a weight loss journey, you know, too often they look at other people that have been in the sport or that are in the gym, and they look the part, And it's like that fear kicks in, that fear of acceptance. You know, society, we all crave that acceptance. And I feel like when you're in a new environment, I don't understand how people can ever be standoffish. They can ever not support other people's journey. You know, I think everyone's on a journey, and to support other people is so much, like, I can't even say it's not. It's just vital to human nature. Like, we all need other people.
I agree.
We all need that support. And so
even if you're super introverted, you still need human social interaction, and not just like any interaction, but like productive interaction.
Yes, and the support, like, you know, look at children. You know, children in sports. I was talking to Greg about this just earlier today. You know, his son's a freshman. They have this huge football team, and you've got a handful of people that are really, really good players.
Yeah.
And then you've got like 60 kids on the sidelines that just sit there and never get to play. And it's like, then they go and they work with these coaches. These coaches are like, why are they not getting playtime? And, you know, it's so crazy because you see people with, you know, talent or potential, or people that just want to learn, people that want to grow. And it's like, as other people in this sport, it's our duty to give back. Like, I think in general, as people, it's our job. Like, I told my son this, the only goal I have for him in life, like, I will feel like a successful parent if at the end of the day, he is contributing something to society in a positive way. And that and being a good person.
Yeah.
Like,
it doesn't even matter like what application that is.
Care what you choose to do. You do whatever makes your heart happy. But as long as you are contributing something, because we're only here for a short period of time. The more people we can impact, the more of a presence that we have on the community around us and the world around us. Like, if we can leave this place better than it was when we came into it, like, we did our job. You know, like God, I believe in God, so I don't know if everyone else does, but God has a purpose for everybody. And you never know what that is until you actually live your truth and be who you're meant to be. And that takes, you've got to take the filters out. You've got to take the pretenses out. You've got to take the judgment out and just be and just live and share who you are with other people and let other people touch you, let other people impact you. Like, you know, life is nothing as a solo person. When people get so stuck in living life about themselves, for themselves, like, at the end of the day, what do you have?
Yeah, I agree. Especially within the sport of bodybuilding, because it's already a pretty lonely sport. And it doesn't matter what your beliefs are as far as, like, you know, what happens after you die. There's one thing that we can all control while we're here, and that is what kind of energy are we putting out there? Like, what is left over when you're gone? What kind of relationships are you building? And did you do something at all during the course of your life that may have impacted others in a positive way? I'm not saying we all have to be like, leave a stamp on a history book and be famous, but
we're not all Rosa Parks.
Come on now, like, you can do something. You can help a youth program or whatever, like, whatever it may be, and just that kindness, that positive energy, that's what you can control. I think that's why, like, I vibe with you so hard, just because we have similar beliefs in that. Because I believe that's all you get to take with you, personally. And fuck, if you're a bodybuilder and you don't have any friends and you get hurt, now what?
It's gonna be so boring.
There's absolutely nothing going on for you. Anymore, that's tragic.
You're like, oh, that's sad.
I mean, especially bodybuilding. It's a short-lived sport. At the end of the day,
it is.
You know, you've got some. You do get some. I will say there are a few bodybuilders that have longevity in this sport, but it's so hard on your body that at the end of the day, you know, you're only in this sport for a short period of time, actually lifting and competing. You know, but it's like, what do you do after that?
What kind of a person are you outside of the gym? What happens after you're young and muscled up and
your body's like, hey, I don't look as hot anymore.
Your titties are sagging down to the floor. Like, what's going to happen then? I don't know. Yeah, I agree with that so much.
You can't pose away your wrinkle under your ass.
Right. I mean, we can all get BBLs now. That's like a thing, so.
Dude, those
I don't know, they're getting crazy right now.
They don't last. They don't
No,
last.
have you seen some of these BBLs though? Like,
dude,
the party
they were bad.
There
There was a couple ladies with BBLs, and I was just like, You think that looks good?
I swear it looks like just a dirty diaper. Like sagging down in your pants. I don't know, man. To each their own, but I think I'd rather just
I'm gonna lift
for it.
I'm gonna lift.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lift it. You know, it's so funny because when I was younger, my mom had a huge ass growing up. Huge ass.
That's where you get it
White
from.
girl with an ass. But the thing is, when I did my first show, I went from having a bubble butt to having no ass on stage. And I was like,
It was off that.
It's really
it totally was.
The cutting down for your first show is so humbling.
It's
People don't talk
revealing.
about that.
No, they
But
don't.
then-
It is
but
so
then,
humbling.
Then you go through your next show, and it's like, okay,
Well, I told Crystal, I was like, had you told me that you really need more time than what you had told me the first time, I'm like, I wouldn't have done it. I'm glad that I did the first show, and I was
it's
like,
your baseline. I tell
I
everybody
was
that
like,
your
but
first
it's
show's
so
your
humbling
baseline.
because you're just thinking, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna look so good, and then you're like, oh, okay.
I don't think no matter who you are, the first time you get on stage, it's not going to be your best physique.
No.
But my philosophy was always like, get up there. If you are thinking about competing, first of all.
Oh, I loved it, and I'm so glad I did.
Yeah, just get on stage because you're never going to know if you like the experience of actually the life of living the prep because stage is only like a couple hours realistically. But yeah, and then just see where you're at. Like you really can't see what somebody is working with until you pull all that back and really look at it.
I was very.
Okay, we got a little work to do.
I was like, it was very humbling.
I did an 8-week prep, and I was like, this was really cool. Let's do it again.
And
That
it
sounds
was
brutal.
I need to grow my butt. I lost it.
You're like, I lost my whole butt.
That's my favorite part about off season. Just
Getting
have
the
a
butt.
little extra.
Yeah, the softness.
I love my butt right now.
I
Like
know.
it's great.
This is the best. Little curves. Me and
I
Des
will
did
be honest, I hate off season. I hate
Yeah,
it.
but you know what? I was just gonna say we did
I
that
don't like being fluffy.
yeah,
that photo shoot.
yeah.
You looked
You look
amazing.
so
You
good,
can't tell me you don't look at those pictures of yourself and go, wow.
You
like,
don't think you don't like? You looked amazing.
No, I like the photos because it takes me away from what I see in the mirror.
Yeah.
I was explaining this to Crystal. So for me,
Me too.
I don't like off season. If you guys notice, I don't post a lot of my workouts.
Oh, I haven't posted shit.
So, and I feel bad because I want to share more of my workouts, but then I record it and then I look at it and I'm like, I don't want to post that.
It's so weird as a bodybuilder because you think you're fat, but you look amazing. And it's just,
Yeah, it's a mental perception. And so for me, I do these photo shoots because it takes me out of my view of what I see. Because looking at a picture is different than looking at yourself in the mirror. And it's like, I can see the softness, I can see the femininity, which I value. And it's part of why I've, minimized a lot of my usage, a lot of gear. I've kept it all to a minimum because I like having that feminine aspect to me. And at the same time, this is the first time I've gone more than 6 months without a show. I've never, in the 10 years I've been competing.
I was going to say, a year
that
for
must
you
be-
is a lot.
So that's a lot.
good.
It's a long time to
Yeah.
be in your off season, especially when you don't like it.
Yeah, and it's like, so I'm definitely not in my comfort zone. And the longer I've been in this comfort zone, or out of my comfort zone in this off season, the more I struggle with it, actually. It doesn't get easier. Because then I'm like, the longer I get used to seeing this soft look, and I'm like, this isn't who I am. But at the same time, that stage look is not going to be who I am
forever.
Yeah. And so I'm learning to navigate life outside of prep. And I mean, I love it, but at the same time, I still struggle. And I feel like people don't talk about that enough, like struggling with what you see in the mirror and working through it and how we work through that. And like I said, these photo shoots, they help because you're not looking at yourself in a mirror, you're looking at yourself and it's like, okay, I can see the art. I can see the feminine, I can see the softness. And what we see as fat to everyone else in society is like, damn.
You're still like in the 99 percentile, I feel like.
I'm doing a
Fit
boudoir
people.
shoot for a friend on Tuesday, and
Yeah.
she loves to
But the
Photoshop
fact
me,
you
and
can
I get
do that right
and I
now?
get frustrated, and she's like, Lena, you are
Yeah.
like my only client that I don't have to edit. You
Yeah.
take a picture, I'll do a color edit, and then I get to post it. And she's like, people don't do that, and I'm like,
I feel like that, to me at least personally, that's what I consider balance. like within the sport of bodybuilding, you have a lot of different definitions of balance. You have people that just like completely fuck off in their off season, and in my opinion, go a little too far with it. And then you have people that are like super strict and have a really hard time going out for Mexican food one night with their friends. It's like really hard to let loose. But to me, the balance is like when you actually find that sweet spot between the ebbs and the flows of like the show, the high that comes from like the prep, the grind, the lines, like everything that happens. And then after that, like the first couple shows for me were like, ooh, like such a down.
Yeah.
Like so high and then so down. And everyone talks about the post-show blues, but like to me, the balance has been finding less of that. And more enjoyment just in the sport and maintaining a fit, healthy lifestyle all the time so that I can do a photo shoot with this crazy bitch who's like, oh, guess what we're doing today all day, but anytime, you know what I mean? Like, and going out for Mexican food or whatever it is and not feeling guilty about it and not having, you know, I think a lot of people have, at least I did coming up in the sport, and even just in my life up until I got into bodybuilding, I had like major issues with food. And I know that you can relate too, but like the food chatter and like the food anxiety around like having to select foods or like be around foods that I didn't think I was
prior to bodybuilding?
Yeah, bad.
Really?
I was a bulimic for like 20 years.
Okay.
Yeah, like bad.
See, and I come from the total polar opposite side of things in that I was a track athlete. And then I had my son. I gained 60 pounds when I had my son. So for me, it was, I started running again to lose the weight. And then I was like, okay, my grandmother was like, where'd your ass go? Because I was working 2 jobs, trying to save money to get a place. I was living on my friend's couch. Like, I literally like was at my lowest point in life, stressed as fuck. Like, baby daddy was crazy at the time because I had just left him. I was in finals.
You're just trying to make it happen.
I was just trying. I was
literally trying to freaking breathe.
And so I wasn't eating. I was, you know, my decompressing and de-stressing was running. And so I'd put Logan to bed and I'd go for like a 5-mile run. And so by the end of the day, I think in 2 months, I saved up enough money. I got my first place by myself after I left my son's dad.
You're such a gangster.
But I lost everything I got so skinny. I was down to 119 pounds. So then I was like, okay, I need to eat.
Comparative,
I need to gain
do you mind
weight.
saying how much you weigh now? You can leave it. I'm just curious.
So again, I had my son.
We're not editing anything out.
Yeah, no. I went from 135 at 18 years old, track athlete, to 205 pounds when I had my son. Then I got down to 119.
Ooh.
So my body just, like, obviously after I had Logan, he was almost fucking 10 pounds. He was a huge child.
Yeah, he's not little.
No, he never was. He never was. He just always had this lollipop head. And I used to tell him
I feel like that child came out of the womb large.
He was huge. I was like, he got stuck. Like, that kid would not come out of me. And everyone's like, you didn't have any more kids. No, that kid got stuck. I was like, never again.
Yeah.
Never again. But so I got down to probably 150 after I had him. And I was like, okay, I was stuck at 150. And I was like soft. And I went through a lot of trauma with his dad in that, like, when I finally left his dad, I couldn't look in the mirror. I wore makeup every single day. I thought I was ugly. I saw every stretch mark on my body every time I looked in the mirror. Like, he would point them out.
Was there like a little bit of emotional
Oh yeah,
abuse
like,
going
I
on
mean,
in that?
when we were together and I was pregnant, it was like so a lot of people don't talk about this shit, but I almost had an abortion. Paid for it.
Yeah.
I couldn't go through with it because internally I knew it wasn't for me.
For you, yeah.
So there was a lot of resentment on his dad's side at first. I will say that. And I mean, it was every stretch mark I got, he would point it out. Like, after I had Logan, like, I would be in the shower and he'd just open the shower curtain and be like, ew, and then shut it.
God.
And like, he discussed, oh yeah, watching you have that baby, ugh, that was disgusting. Like, it mentally, like, I was mentally like fucked up at that point.
People don't really understand too, like, when there's emotional abuse going on, how deep that gets and how hard it is to get yourself out of that and how long it takes to like reverse those thought patterns. Yeah.
And I think a lot of it was, I came from a very abusive childhood as well. So part of me, I understood that. And it just was kind of normal to me. And
well,
I
if you think about it, that's what you see.
Yeah.
That's what you think is normal growing up.
Well, and my thing was he never put his hands on me, so I grew up watching abuse.
Well, people
like physical
and then
abuse.
you
people
justify it.
that when
Yeah.
there's
Well,
no
at least he
he wasn't
doesn't beat
hitting me,
me up.
and I'm like, no,
And
it's
that's what I
almost
did.
worse because
That's what I did.
It
I
takes
agree.
longer for the flags
I'd
to
rather
pop
put
up.
up, like I always say, this physical abuse. Like I'm not condoning any of it,
Yeah.
but like
Yeah.
it's easier because once you leave it, you're gone.
Yeah.
It's not there anymore.
Yeah.
Emotional abuse fucks with your head for
Yeah.
like years after that sometimes.
So
and it
that
can
was
affect-
my journey. Was after I left him, it was November, right? Thanksgiving. Logan was 19 months old. The reason I left was because he yanked a bag out of my hand and it knocked Logan over, and Logan split his eyebrow open.
Oh, yeah, no.
And so I freaked out, went in mama mode, and my girlfriend took me to the emergency room because he wouldn't give me a car. I made him go to school because we were both in college. I was like, get the fuck away from my kid. Don't touch my kid. I'll take him to the emergency room, make sure he's good. He came home. Me and Logan were gone. I took my clothes. I took my baby, left everything. So I was living on my girlfriend's couch, put my shit back together, build my life. My younger sister moved in with me, fucking my rock. And then I just kind of rebuilt myself. But it was a mental journey. And in that process, it was like I was running. So I went from 150 down to 119. Then I got myself back up to a happy 135. And so it was kind of like, I call it skinny fat. You know, the nights that I didn't have Logan because his dad started being a good dad, I would go drinking. I would go dancing.
That was literally me when I first started my fitness journey.
Yeah.
I was just running, but I was still like...
You'd like go to the
binge-
gym, you'd use the machines, and you'd be like, okay, what do I do on this thing? Okay.
I would just run and I would like barely eat, and I would go and drink like
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
And
The beer.
I was skinny,
I was
but I
drinking
had
Coors
no
Light. I'm
muscle.
healthy.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm healthy. I eat salads all the time, just with all the dressings and
It's a step in the right direction. It's
Right,
a
I'd be like, I'm
process.
eating so healthy,
Yogurt.
and you're like, yogurt covered raisins were my jam. The shit you think is like, I'm eating kind of healthy.
I used to take
making
those
good
stacker pills. Do you remember those?
Yes.
I used to eat those all the time. Just drink iced coffee all day.
Yep, all day. I worked in a
Yeah.
coffee shop. I was drinking all the caffeine all day. I was closing the coffee shop on campus, drinking the caffeine. But so for me, then I did my first show. And that's when I got down to about 124 pounds.
When was your first show?
November of 2015.
2015. Okay.
No, 2014.
Ooh.
Shit.
Yeah,
10
2014.
years.
Almost
Next
10.
month.
Yeah,
That's
if I didn't
exciting.
take this year off, it would have been my 10th year competing. So I did 9 years straight. And I'm talking straight. Like back to back. So I did that show in November, turned around, did the Gov Cup in March.
You just fell in love with it right away, or what?
I fell in love with it.
No, you're fine.
Yeah.
Well, going back to talking about how you're having like a long off season,
Yeah.
like that's the other thing that if you look at pros compared to like NPC, like pros are typically running more. I feel like running more shows. Like you guys are
100%.
staying
Yeah.
significantly leaner throughout the year. So
Yeah.
then I could totally see where you're like, well, fuck, man.
I think
this
that's
is
that
like-
balance
Yeah.
that I was talking about, though. Like
Yeah.
as you're coming up in the sport, you start to find your groove within
Yeah.
that, and
And
then you're
I've-
like, okay,
I've
I'll stay
noticed a
within
lot-
striking distance.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm noticing more and more pros, like the women are saying, nope, I need to take time off. I need
Yeah.
to take care of myself. And I'm like, I'm loving hearing it because
You
It's
know,
important.
you get to know your body
Yep.
so well that you're like, you know when you're pushing yourself and you're not getting the best results.
Yeah.
You know when you're not responding to
Well,
things.
you'll
know-
start to get sick. You'll
Yeah.
start to have injuries. And so my thing was this year I started prep. And I was in the process of moving. I was dealing with life shit. My brother passed away. I just got back in this relationship and I was like really trying to rebuild this connection.
Yeah.
And my dog had puppies and it was just everything all at once. And my body ended up getting sick. I was on antibiotics for 21 days straight.
That was kind
Ended
of
up-
recently, huh?
It was in May.
You got fucked up.
I ended up doing 3 rounds of antibiotics because I couldn't get rid of this infection. And so,
yeah.
and I just listened to my body. And I was like, you know, it's okay. Like I'm not someone in this sport that if I take some time out, I'm not going to be forgotten.
You're not going to be irrelevant. You can always come back.
Yeah, and I think that's where I was so worried, especially as a new pro. And coming in my rookie season, I missed the Olympia by 2 places on the point scale.
That's rough.
I came in and I got 3rd in my rookie season as a pro. So for me, it was like I was top 5 in all my shows, top 6, first call-outs in every show I did my rookie season. So I turned around and I competed again. And it was like that. You know, every year I've been in the first call-outs for the most part in the majority of my shows.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where you're so fucking close. You just you can taste it.
What was your feedback primarily throughout all that?
Either conditioning or a little bit more balance. So my first year was
you
balance.
still had a little tissue to bring up in certain areas?
Yeah, I've always been leg dominant.
Yeah.
Being a runner my whole life, quads have always been my thing. Then I built up my hamstrings to match my quads and the back bows. I've always had broad shoulders, but I didn't have the muscle tissue in my upper body. And so I finally am at a place where I have the balance, and now Sandy's like, I don't want you bigger. Tyler's like, just add some density to your back, bring in that back. We want that 3D look. And so this whole off season has just been really dialing in the detail in my back and my glutes. I wanted that pop from the back that I have from the front.
I feel like you'll get rewarded for that too. Like, I know some people have differing opinions on getting that judge's feedback rather, and implementing it. But I've definitely seen that when you do that and you interact with them and they give you feedback and you deliver it, it does tend to be rewarded.
And honestly, that's the truth, because I've talked to the judges after every season, and I've taken their feedback and I've come back with it. And even last year, that was one of the things that Sandy said to me. She said, Des, this is the most complete I've ever seen your physique. Tyler said the same thing. He goes, honestly, if you would have been just a little bit more conditioned, you would have been fighting for the top 2 position. I heard the same thing from Tarek when I did the LA muscle contest show. He's like, if your conditioning was a little bit better, honestly, you would have been in the mix for those top 2 positions. Because I have the shape, I have the size now. It's just a matter of my body wasn't wanting to get that fine conditioning that I needed, because I needed rest. And too often we push because we're right there, when really what we need is to pull back. Let our body reset and rest, especially as women. Our hormones, when I started this, I was 26. Now I'm 36. So my hormones are starting to change, and we have to take that biochemical feedback from ourselves too, not just the feedback from the judges.
And it takes a
really
while to learn that.
Yeah, 100%.
Within the sport, and going through a prep and a reverse and a prep and a reverse, and it's always different. Every time you do it, it's never going to look the same.
Well, and just like your responses to food's never going to be the same.
Exactly.
Like one prep, you might do really good with sweet potatoes, but the next prep, your body might be like, I'm holding all the water because this is too much fiber for me right now.
So true.
And it's like, okay, I really am doing good with some jasmine and basmati rice, but the next thing you know, it's like, I need some white potatoes.
Yeah.
But it's like, if you can't gauge your body's response to that food, you struggle.
Yeah.
And it's like, you have to, and even when you have a coach, like, the bottom line is your coach is only as good as the feedback you give them.
That's totally true.
You know? Like,
you said that to me once. You're like, I just realized that you get as much out as you put in.
Yeah.
It's so true.
It's true. I was like, if I don't tell her that I'm having a problem with X, Y, and Z, she can't help me fix it.
And
I
your
noticed,
coach can only,
I felt like the more I put into my relationship with my exercise program, my relationship with you, my check-ins, I was like, I'm getting way more out of my coaching because you just, it's like anything. When a friendship, you have somebody that's putting into a friendship, you tend to want to put into that friendship more because you're like, and so it was a learning thing. I was like, the more I put into this, the more I get out of it.
The best athletes are super communicative, and there's nothing too small and coachable, and they listen, and there's that open relationship. And it doesn't matter if you're a mother or a school teacher or like a coach or a personal trainer or whatever you are. If you're trying to teach somebody how to do something, there's no possible way that you can just, okay, we're going to sit down and I'm going to deliver all the information about this topic right now.
And you're just going to understand it.
Okay, there you go. No, there has to be like some time spent creating dialogue, creating opportunities for questions, creating opportunities for the little nuances that come up between you, your body.
You got to be able to say, okay, so wait, this is, that
troubleshooting as it goes, things like that. Like there's no way you could sit down and be like, well, if this happens, you're going to do this, and if this happens, okay, got it, let's go, run it.
And it's like, I think that's the biggest thing, when it comes to being a partner with your coach. Like, at least for me, like, if I wake up and I'm like, oh, my digestion's off, like my coach would never know that unless I told them that, like, hey, we switched my food and my digestion kind of is a little funky lately, like, you know. But those are the conversations that we need, whether we're the coach or we're the athlete. We need those conversations in order to drive results.
Well, also, like, your coach isn't going to be able to, like, properly help you if you're not honest. Like, that's the thing, too.
Yeah,
like,
because they're just looking at data.
They're just looking at what you're giving them, you know? If you're not being honest about what you're doing, then what they can't help you.
Because they're just looking at a blueprint, basically. Like, hey, I gave you this plan. This is the plan that we're doing. They just can assume that you're doing the plan as it was given. They're looking at your body going, something's fucked up. Okay, let's try to tweak this or that. When realistically, it could have been something really simple, like maybe you're eating something that your body's not agreeing with, or you haven't been sleeping, or just a little piece of information can be like, oh, that makes perfect sense. This is what we're gonna do. Now you've solved a problem. You didn't have to change anything about the actual protocol, and everybody learned something about each other. You know, so
is it your water? Is it your sodium? You know, like,
and that's the time too to build those bits of information with your coach, so that when you do get down to prep time, we already know Desiree has not been doing good with white potatoes this year, so we're gonna keep that out of the mix. No burger and fry refeeds for you, or maybe you cheated on your diet.
I really like my
maybe you went to In-N-Out with your girls on the way home,
instead, Mom?
and you had to tell your coach and you were embarrassed about it, but you look fucking banging that day. Maybe now we just figured out, burgers are a good thing for
you.
me.
Need that extra sodium, the extra fats. Sorry, I got a filet mignon at home.
You're thinking about it already.
I'm
we
so
can
ready
wrap it
for
up.
it.
There was one question that somebody asked me on Instagram yesterday, and I really just wanted to bring it to the podcast, but it was along the lines of like, what do you do? Fuck, I took a picture of it. Basically, like, what do you do when life gets crazy and you can't get to the gym? How are you supposed to keep yourself from going sane and not lose your gains? And I was like, there's a lot of layers to this question, because my first thought was like, why would you stop taking care of yourself and going to the gym just because, like, life's tough? But then I'm like, there's so many layers, because, like, maybe you got injured, or maybe you have cancer and you can't, and, like, you're losing your mind. But I don't know, I just kind of wanted to get your 2 cents on that, both of you guys, because I know you're both parents too, and to me that's like,
life is always going to happen.
That's the
like
ultimate.
Life never stops, and that's, I think, what people forget is life doesn't stop, and your ability to navigate life and prioritize life, because sometimes you have to, like, sometimes you have to fucking take a day off the gym. Sometimes you have to take a week off the gym.
Shit's gonna happen sometimes that's just off plan. And you're like, okay, I can't let this, like, throw my whole shit off.
Well, first things first, you're not going to instantly lose your fucking game.
No.
Like, you're just not.
It's going to take, no. But if that's the case and you're just going through some shit mentally, and that's your attitude to it, is like, well, I just am going through it, so, I guess I'm not going to hit the gym. It's like, no, why was that your first thought? Like, if that's your attitude about it, then you probably will, because...
Well, but it depends, because, like, when you think about it, it's like, how long are you not going?
That's what I mean, but you'll probably make it last if that's where your head's at. I'm going to keep perpetuating that, like, I'm really going through it.
One thing I tell all of my clients, I tell this to all of my friends, I tell this to really anybody in my life, and I actually had this conversation last night, literally last night with one of my clients. You are only as good as the thoughts that you create.
100%.
So if you tell yourself you cannot do something, you can't do it. If you tell yourself I can't control, binge eating, I can't control myself.
Right.
Well, you can't, because you're telling yourself you can't.
I agree with that.
You're only gonna be able to do what you tell yourself you can do. So I try and push this with everybody, and my son as well.
It's a self-limiting belief.
Take away the word cannot. Take that out of your fucking vocabulary. Like, okay, maybe I am not strong enough to hit that PR, but I can get there. And you work up to it. And so what you tell yourself you can do, you will do. Like, it may not happen overnight, but you will get there. And so you know, with everything, you know, life is gonna fucking come up. Life's gonna happen. You're gonna
might
fucking run into
actually
shit.
like completely fucking fall on your face a couple times, but
you know,
everybody does.
And the thing is, you have to maintain a sense of self-priority.
Yeah.
Like when I was sitting on my friend's couch, like I could have easily said, like, I can't go work on myself. I can't do that. I've got to focus on my son. And which is true, I did. But I still took 30 minutes.
Yeah, you can't focus on your son unless you are also focusing on yourself a little
I
bit.
have a friend that she's a single mom, 2 kids. Her kid's dad is in the picture, but it's every other weekend because he lives further away. She's like, I tell myself I have to go to the gym for 15 minutes. And she's like, and some people would laugh at 15 minutes. And she's like, but that's 15 minutes, and usually that 15 minutes turns into 30. That chick lost 15 pounds this summer by changing her diet and giving herself the goal of 15 minutes.
Yep.
And did she show up every time? No.
Yeah.
But she didn't give up.
But she didn't give up.
Yeah.
But the thing about that is it's also reinforcing a pattern of behavior and a discipline.
Yeah.
Whereas you're following through with what the fuck you said you were going to do for yourself instead of like continually letting yourself down and letting other things
There was times I watched her walk in. She literally only worked out for 10 minutes, but that's all she had, and she left. And I was like, rock on, shit, good job.
You're keeping it as part of your routine. You're making yourself a priority no matter what it looks like.
I think that's the part where a lot of people struggle. And
if you can't make it to the gym, order some shit online.
That's
Get
what I'm
some
saying.
bands. Like my younger sister, she's a fucking boss. Like she's got 2 little kids. She's a fucking. She has her baby daddy in the picture. Like he's freaking awesome. But like my niece has so many health issues that my sister is literally like a 24 hours a day nurse, and she has dedicated 15 to 20 minutes to a little Pilates video that she pulls up on YouTube.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Or gets some bands and does some little quick workout in her gym.
It takes absolutely nothing to do push-ups, sit-ups, lunges.
She's back to where she was before this 4th child. Tiniest, cutest little thing. My sister's freaking beautiful.
Yeah.
But it's like, she made herself a priority.
Yeah.
And even if it's only for 15 minutes, a couple days a week, she takes that time in her fucking living room or in her garage. She doesn't go to the gym.
I agree.
She does it there at home. So there is no excuses why you cannot, even with all the shit you got going on in life, take a few minutes and make yourself a priority, because at the end of the day, your physical health and your mental health are just as important.
It makes me a better person. It makes me a better mom, a better wife, a better employee, 100%. A better friend. Like 100%. Me showing up for myself.
Yep, you can show up for everyone else.
I can show up everybody else.
Yep.
And I know like mental health is a topic that seems to be like very relevant now, which I think is really cool. But I know that if I'm going through some shit internally, if I stop doing the things that I need to do in my life,
it gets worse.
It's gonna get worse.
Girl, I'm going down into that rabbit hole, like, and that's gonna be really hard to get out.
Yeah.
So,
and
even if
that
you're like,
sadness amplifies.
Yeah.
And the thing is people don't realize even just 15 minutes of activity, it's not even just physical. Like the chemicals that release
you actually
in your
have
brain,
dopamine, cannabinoids, serotonin.
Yep. It's
the other thing too is like, let's say you have like a physical ailment. I mean, it doesn't hurt, but if you like really, like you get in a car accident and you broke both of your femurs and you're in a body cast. Okay, that sucks. Like you didn't get to choose that, obviously. But even if you're laid up, there's things that you can do. There's mindset exercises that you can do. Yep. There is something you can do. If you can squeeze a weight and strengthen your hands and your forearms, start there. Do some bicep curls. Like I blew out my knee 1 year. Yeah.
Kristen, look at him all day, every day. And I speak on that because that man is an inspiration.
Do what you can with what you have.
Yes.
Even if your legs don't work, do shoulder presses in the chair. Like you have to stop thinking inside this little box and just think past that. And that's not just for your physical health, but like everything in life. I'm sure as parents you have to troubleshoot things all the time.
Every day.
Like,
All the time.
okay, this is really difficult right now, but there, like if you zoom out and think about the bigger picture, there's got to be a solution. There's got to be a way around it.
Yeah, dude, my son yesterday let me read a conversation he had with his dad, and it's like my heart hurt. My heart hurt so bad I cried, and I just hugged him, and I'm like, you know what? At the end of the day, like I'm so proud of you for speaking your truth.
Oh,
and
you're a good mom.
Being true to who you are, and I know it wasn't easy, but at the end of the day, you know, hopefully that helps you guys repair the damage that's going on right now. And, you know, some things are out of our control. I want to fix that relationship for him. I want to fix that situation as much as, you know, his dad and I aren't close. We aren't necessarily great, but like, he deserves that. He deserves that relationship, and it hurts my heart that I can't fix it. But as they get older, they got to do their own shit. They got to work their world the way it's going to fall for them. And at the end of the day, we can't control it.
But you can teach your kids these skills that we're talking about. Like, hey, when life gets shitty, and it will.
Yeah, 100%.
It's going to happen over and over and over. You can either look at it this way or this way, where you can be a badass, figure some shit out.
Yes.
Those are the types of skills I think as parents are super useful to give your. And I know you're the same way with your daughter, because I've seen how you guys interact. Like, both of you guys. Yeah. You have that line of communication open. You also lead by fucking example.
Yes. Yeah. My son's watched me go through breakups. He's watched me go through heartbreak. He's watched me fail. He's watched me switch jobs. He's watched me do it all.
But
at
that's
the end
real
of the day,
life.
We have succeeded together.
Yeah.
And it's like he understands that, and I've taught him that, you know, at the end of the day, you're gonna fall 7 times, get fucking up 8. It's all that matters.
It's not easy to like, just kind of circling back to that same question we're hitting on, but like, it's not always easy to hype yourself up.
No.
But you fucking have to. Like, you really have to.
Or you have a circle. Like, lean on your circle. When shit gets hard and life gets hard, lean on your circle. And that, honestly, at the end of the day, sometimes that's what it is.
That's so true.
That is what it is. You gotta have people that have your back, that are behind you and in your fucking corner, rooting for you to succeed as much as you're trying to succeed.
That's so true. Like, if you have deadbeat friends that aren't doing anything, that's not going to help you either. Like, look at your circle of who you're hanging out with.
And even then, I feel like a lot of times, and it's not even necessarily that they don't have good people around them, it's that people don't reach out. When that shit happens in their life and they just internalize it and they just let it drag them down and they don't fucking open up.
Oh, guys are worse than it.
I'm pretty guilty of that. I did that for most of my life.
Yeah.
I'm getting better
about
it,
better.
But that's.
And you've gotten better about when I check in, being like, "How are you?" Like, you used to be like, "Oh, great."
Being honest about it.
She'll be like, "Shit's been rough," but you know,
I think I struggle in that regard because, like, I believe so much. We're good. We got like 10 minutes.
Cool. I just wanted to make sure it's not gonna.
We're almost done.
Shut it down.
But yeah, we'll finish up with this thought. But like, a big part of that is because I struggle with my internal dialogue of like, I don't like to say negative shit, and I don't like to put negative thoughts out there into the world. So if I'm like, oh, today sucks, everything's rough right now, then it's like, it will be. So, but there is a line of being like, you know, I got to be honest with you. Like, I'm struggling right now.
Yeah.
And I think that's where having that support comes in, because like, I know with you, like, we started out as a work relationship, but people like you and the reason that we're so close is because you know when to reach out and you learn about people that you care about to the point where you're like, I know something's up. And you're not like pushing it, but you're just offering that space. Like, hey, I just want you to know I'm here for you. What can I do? That goes a long way. So you're right.
I think a lot of that too is it's like, when you are aware of the people in your life, you can sense that negative energy around them.
100%.
You can sense it, you can feel it, and it's not hard to just reinforce some positive energy in that direction. And I feel like, going to your point, is it's like, some people will struggle to open up and give that. My advice is, I just really hope people try to, because, you know, my son's uncle committed suicide a couple years ago, and it was because he was in a dark period and he didn't reach out to people that were in his corner. And because of that, everyone in his corner have been affected by it.
They're all suffering because of it.
And, you know, and so for me, it's like, even though I'm not close with his dad, I have reached out. I have let him know that, hey, yo, I'm here. Like, I know you're going through shit. And my thing is I feel like it's our job as humans and as people to be aware of the people that are in our lives, even if we're not close with them, and to be that positive, because that's all we can do.
Well, I try to check in on people just because. Like, I had a 17-year-old cousin that committed suicide, and you would have never... He was 17. You would never have known that he was... That's where he was.
Yeah.
Like, he was the class clown. He was funny. He was an Eagle Scout. Tons of friends. you know, like the day before, making plans,
never know what's
making
going
plans
on
with
with
his
people.
parents, you know, like, and nobody knew.
Yeah, that's so
Nobody
hard.
knew, and you're just like,
What happened?
About the ball right
Yeah.
now, Jesus.
sad.
Yeah.
It sucks. It's sad,
That's
but
so
like,
sad.
you know, so it's just like, I just, you know, I reach out, like, if I think there's something going on,
Yeah.
I'm just like, you good?
Yeah.
Like, are you good? Just
And
make
you
this
have
easier
to.
because you never know.
Yeah, you have to. But and I really do push, you know, being. I think that's why I'm so transparent with my world. Like I have always been so. Like my Instagram, everyone's
the
like,
only way
everyone's
to
like,
be.
people meet me all the time in person. They're like, dude, I feel like I know you.
It's the only way to be in life. Like, what
Yeah.
is the point of being anything other than what you are? It doesn't get you anywhere. It doesn't get you real friends.
Nope.
It doesn't get you happiness. It's work.
Put
It's
on- yeah, you put on
labor.
a facade, and it's like, what do you accomplish?
Nothing.
People think you're cool.
What people though?
Exactly.
Like, who cares?
Yeah, and so my thing is you know, I have cried on Instagram. I have posted my heartbreak. I have posted my struggles. You know, I posted my post shows like I'm fucking upset. I'm crying. I'm sad. You know, because people don't show
Yeah.
the real as much as they should.
Especially
I,
people.
as like, you know, newer in the industry, like, I appreciate when
That's what
you
I was
guys
gonna
show
say.
that. Like, it means a lot to be like, okay, they're not perfect.
Because
they fuck up.
we all
Dude,
get
after
kind of
my
stuck
shows,
in
when
the-
I don't win and everybody wants to win, you don't compete to lose. My friends will literally be like, "Yo, you good? You coming out to hang with everybody? Take all of our photos."
I always
and I'm
check
like,
on people after
I'm like,
show,
"Yo, give
'cause
me 5-10 minutes. I gotta pull myself together because I'm mentally, I'm in a rough spot. You know,
Yeah.
when I feel like I should have done better. You know, whatever the case is. Like,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's okay to take a few minutes to yourself and feel those emotions
Totally.
and go through it
It's
and let
actually
it
not healthy not to.
yeah, let it
Yeah.
be. Let it be a part of you. But at the same time, those that are close to you, it's okay to let them know that too.
Yeah.
I
It's
personally
okay.
don't follow, like, just in terms of bodybuilding alone, I don't follow people that are not transparent with things. Like,
Yeah.
there's so many, first of all, there's a lot of pros that are really rude
Yeah.
to other
100%,
people. And
100%.
I don't appreciate that, so I'll unfollow that. But people who don't like share at least something that's going on in their personal life, or like if every picture is just like a cute caption and like a professional photo, I'm like, who are you?
Well,
though?
that's
Like,
not real
I'm
life
not gaining
either, and
anything
it's
from
like-
that.
You're real. Like,
That-
you're
yeah.
a real, like,
Yeah.
you know, most people aren't.
No, I want to know the grit. Like, I
Like,
want to
I
know
want to know
what
about
you're
your lives.
about.
Let us know when
Yeah.
it's shitty.
Yep.
You know, let us
Yeah.
know that you have hard days too, because to everybody else,
Well,
you know,
but
like
then you,
when you
then
step
you can
on
have
Olympia's.
those conversations like,
That's how
did
you're
you
going to find your
navigate
people,
that?
and that's how you're ultimately going to impact people. You don't impact people by recycling some like niche geek quote, even though he was dope. Like, that's not an impactful thing. Like,
Yeah.
when you open the dialogue for those conversations, because
Or
maybe
you present
somebody.
yourself as somebody that you're not. Like I've noticed
Yeah.
that a lot lately. You know, I like that holier than thou. That like I am this, I'm that. You know what? Your actions show who you are.
Yeah.
And my thing is I would rather people, like I said, my followers, they meet me in person, they're like, dude, I feel like I know you. Because who you meet when you meet me in person is the same
the
fucking
same
person
person.
on Instagram.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna be stupid, I'm gonna be loud, I'm also gonna be quiet sometimes. You know, I'm gonna be an ear or I'm gonna be a mouth. I'm gonna be, who
funny.
gives a
Yeah.
shit? You flip the coin.
Yeah.
Like, but at the same time,
Sometimes you're all of those things in like a couple of minutes. That's why we love you.
But-
All right, you guys. We got like 2 minutes. I love you.
Love you too.
Thank
yeah.
you. We're going to do this again.
Yeah,
This
this
is
is
a
fun.
lot.
maybe we'll have some bullet points of shit to talk about next time.
Probably not. I don't know if I'll ever have like a topic.
Secura's just bored with us.
Like, there's just like
Secura's
night
sleeping.
time. She didn't
Tired
want
of
to
our
be in
bullshit.
it.
Thank y'all for stopping by.
Woo!
Stay up.
Yo.
Bye. Thank you guys.
Thank